Hi, we're going to talk about thesis statements and talk about what is the definition of a thesis statement, how to construct a strong thesis statement, and how to tell a strong thesis statement from a weak one. So, a thesis statement is the most important sentence in your paper. It is a single sentence that formulates, states, and/or sums up the topic of your essay and your approach to the topic. It lets your readers know your purpose for writing. It tells them what you're trying to prove through the research and points you're going to make in your paper. So here are some characteristics of strong thesis statements. A strong thesis statement takes some sort of stand. Your thesis must show your conclusions about a topic. A strong thesis statement justifies discussion. It indicates the point of the discussion you're going to have in your paper. A strong thesis statement expresses one main idea. Readers need to be able to see that your paper has a main point. If your thesis statement expresses more than one idea, then you might confuse your readers about the subject of your paper. A strong thesis statement is specific. A thesis statement should show exactly what your paper will be about and will help you keep your paper to a manageable topic. Thesis statements should be provable. What does this mean? It means it should not contain pre-established facts. The thesis statement should present information in your take or approach to the information. Even though you don't say, "I think" or "I believe," your thesis is your opinion based on the research and conclusions you've made as you prepared for your paper. And it should not contain pre-established facts because that's what the rest of your paper is for, to prove. You're going to enter into the conversation of your topic using a thesis statement. Your thesis statement should take your essay's purpose and audience into account. It should contain action verbs, strong adjectives, and specific illustrative vocabulary. You don't want to use is, are, have, those sorts of general words, and avoid generalizations like many ways or vague generalized statements like in today's society. So think about some ways to come up with stronger verbs. What are some things you can use instead of is, are, instead of have, or instead of show? If you're not sure off the top of your head, use your book or Google to find lists of stronger verbs. So as we go through this, keep in mind that your initial thesis statement should not be the exact same thesis statement you have by the time you finish writing your paper. Thesis statements are flexible and should move and adjust as you learn more and do more writing. What you begin with should guide you, but it should not be anything that you feel like you have to adhere to strictly. You should change it some as you write. So how do you go about constructing a strong thesis statement? Well, here's a magic formula for you. A specific topic plus an active verb plus the point you are proving equals a strong thesis statement. That's probably as mathy as we'll ever get in my class. So for example, if you're writing about literature, what's your specific topic? Add that to an active verb. Add that to the point you're proving. That'll give you your strong thesis statement. So here's an example. Even though it was written more than 2,000 years ago, Homer's epic, The Odyssey, presents a hero that today's audience can respect. So your topic is going to be Homer's epic, The Odyssey. Your active verb is presents, and the point you're going to prove is that it's a hero that today's audiences can respect. Now you have a strong thesis statement. So, what do you notice about this thesis statement? How does it differ from past thesis construction ideas that you may have learned? Is it missing anything? Here are some other examples. For example, if you were writing about science, or a scientific topic, which could come into play if you were doing a researched argument kind of paper. You would have the same kind of formula, but you would say, nuclear power provides the cleanest source of energy to meet the demands of the 21st century. Your topic, your verb, your point. So, there are two different ways to construct a strong thesis statement and include your supporting details. You can use the same magic formula, but add on a three-pronged thesis, also known as the fork, or a two-part thesis, the knife and fork. So with a three-pronged thesis, it will include your topic, your approach to the topic, and the three aspects, or the main points, you'll use it to prove and discuss your topic in the body of your essay. You may have more or less than 3 points depending on the size of your essay. So here, literary contemporaries William Shakespeare and Ben Jonson exhibit similar types of language, character development, and plot execution. That's a strong thesis. Your topic is a comparison between William Shakespeare and Ben Jonson. Your active verb is exhibit, and your three prongs will discuss the literary topics of language, character development, and plot execution. Here we know who you're going to talk about, what you're trying to prove, and which three areas you're going to examine to make that point. For science, you would say, because it emits no greenhouse gases, causes no atmospheric pollution, and harms no water or aquatic life, nuclear power provides the cleanest source of energy to meet the demands of the 21st century. Same principle. Three prongs are at the beginning of the sentence, then the topic, then the active verb, and the approach that you use to prove your point. As you grow as a writer, you should expand into the two-part thesis approach. Here you state your thesis and approach to the topic in one sentence. Following your thesis sentence, you must then write a detail statement. You will put forth the main topics of your paper in the detail statement. So, your thesis would be, when compared, the United States and the Philippines exhibit similar governing characteristics. It would follow with a detail statement. Their federal branches, formal legal systems, and rules of cultural decorum correspond. So you're going to examine how the same formula is used. The thesis is clear, so are the 3 points that will help prove the thesis. Here again, nuclear power provides the cleanest source of energy to meet the demands of the 21st century. It emits no greenhouse gases, causes no atmospheric pollution, and harms no water or aquatic life. Literary contemporaries William Shakespeare and Ben Jonson possess similar writing styles. They exhibit comparable word usage, character development, and plot execution. So if you want to practice on your own, think about topic ideas. Remember that your thesis must prove something. Remember when you're writing a thesis to look out for vague, weak verbs. Use action verbs. Again, if you don't know what action verbs are, Google them and you'll see lists of them. Avoid weak, vague, generalized language. Make sure you don't miss any points. Don't use incorrect formats, such as the use of I, or something blatant like this essay is about, or in this paper I will discuss. Make sure you're using parallel structure and that you're consistent with your ordering. If you list in your detail statement that you're going to discuss the topics of Shakespeare with character development, dialogue, and diction, then that's the order they should come in the paper. Character development, dialogue, and diction. It shouldn't be a mismatch of that. That's called using parallel structure. Make sure you use facts. Remember, a thesis needs to be provable. not an already proven fact. The facts will support your statements, and those will come in the body of your essay. And avoid disorganized approaches to the topic. Remember to stay focused and organized. Anything you put in your paper should tie back to your thesis and prove your thesis. And if it doesn't, you need to ask yourself whether or not it belongs in the paper at all. So I'll click through for some exercises that you can use for practice if you would like. Hope that helps.